And hi, this is Ken Kraetzer for Cammvets Media. We cover cadets, midshipmen, the military veterans, and Iona University basketball. And Gaels return home on Sunday for a game against St. Peter's, which they won. And to tell us all about it is our friend and Iona alumnus, Iona Athletic Hall of Famer, and on the call for ESPN as an analyst for this game. And that is Kevin Hamilton. Kevin, how are you today?
Good morning, Ken. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Well, uh, heard from Coach Pitino after the game that it was what we kind of thought, a game when a team gets home after a long trip, they can be a little bit suspect because of jet lag, certainly in the Gaels case, and also getting back to all the normal things of life. And but Coach Pitino got them back focused, and they played well. Tell us what was your impression of the game, the win over St. Peter's 73-55.
So it was good to see that the Gaels did not allow the long trip to both New Mexico, then to Hawaii, and all the way back to affect their ability to come into the Heinz Center and protect home court advantage the way they've been doing for now 20 plus games. And he certainly had them prepared to play. It was interesting, doing pregame stuff. I was watching the players warm up, an hour before the game. And I could tell that there was a special focus that coach had them on, and they were going to play well. You could tell they were really, really into it. They looked well rested, so maybe they had a day off. But when the game started, they did exactly what I thought they were going to do, which is got out to a decent start. And then the usual suspects continued to play very well throughout. Nelly Jr. Josephs, again, very dominant, putting all three of the St. Peter's big men in foul trouble within the first 12 minutes of the contest. So Coach Pitino and his staff did a very good job having them ready to go. The Iona Gaels did a very good job being ready and getting off to a good start. And then, maintaining their composure throughout most of the contest. The end of the contest was a little shaky for them, but when you're up by that much and there's no doubt you're going to win, the substitutions came in and didn't perform to coach's liking, and he actually put the starters back in the game.
Yeah, well, certainly, thing that stood out on the New Mexico Hawaii trip was a play of Junior Nelly Junior Joseph against St. Peter's. He had 16 points and on a 10 of 14 shooting and 14 rebounds, getting very consistent. 10 of 14 free throws and 3 of 9 on field goals. He seems like he's really elevated his game the last several weeks.
What's really good to see is Nelly actually looks like he's enjoying playing again. Always has a smile on his face. He's getting beat up on the inside, but takes it, and keeps it moving and does what he has to do to help the Gaels win. But a big part of that, in my opinion, is the play of Osborne Shima. I think he is a real good compliment to Nelly, being able to play both inside and out. And Shima hit a three early in that contest, which forced St. Peter's to make an adjustment, which opened up the lane for Nelly. And I think that was a real key. Also, the Iona guards continue to be dominant thus far against the competition. You said Nelly took 9 shots. I think he should get more shots. And hopefully, as the competition gets better and games get tighter, they'll go to him a little bit more because he's absolutely doing the job.
Well, he certainly was drawing fouls, and that's a good thing. And then coming through on free throws, 10 of 14. But Walter Clayton again, 18 points and 7 of 9 shooting, 4 of 6 on 3-point shots. His game keeps getting better, along with Dennis Jenkins with 9 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. So Iona's got 2 really good, effective guards.
Oh, no doubt. Their guard play has been the key to their success thus far this season. And as you can see, it could be either or. It can be Walter Clayton Jr. or it can be Dennis Jenkins that propels them to strong play. I was particularly pleased with how well Walter played. You know, he's a very physical player, and he also takes a beating, but he just continues to move on and play well. The scouting report on him, though, is something that is really important for Iona. Being such a great free throw shooter, teams are trying not to foul him and put him on the foul line, which is giving him many open 3-point looks, which he is knocking down very consistently now.
And you pointed out that Iona's been effective with a 3-guard look, and with Cruz Davis coming in, or IBM Avo Saduki, who got a couple of points, made impression on the Hawaiian trip, and also at times Parker Weiss has been able to add some offense. That's got to change Iona's look and speed when they play 3 guards.
Yeah, it does. And when they play 3 guards, usually they have the 2 bigs in there because they can defend on the perimeter and they can take risk and gamble because, you know, when, like, for instance, when St. Peter's guards did a good job getting to the basket, there was always a big there waiting to block a shot. So the 3-guard look is something Iona can exploit much more. And then on the offensive end, when you have 3 guys, certainly with Cruz Davis in that mix, that can score, it's really difficult to figure out how you're going to defend all the motion offense that they have. So kudos to the coaching staff to putting that in place. But I think it's going to be an important part of the rest of their season as they go forward, forcing the opponents to have to figure out, well, who do I play? Do I play Dennis? Do I play Walter? Do I play Cruz? Certainly got to try to play Nelly. And when Sheema's hitting shots the way he's hitting, guess what? I have to play him as well.
Yeah, now some injury updates. Derek Jean-Louis, coach, said would be back soon. He thought he might have been ready for Sunday. But concerning news about Quinn Zelensky, that Coach Pitino described his injury as a season injury. And so it's unsure how much he's going to be able to play. And we'll have to see if he plays, what his situation is after a week of practice or a week of rest. That changes Iona's look. He was expected to be their top scorer going into the season.
Well, it does change their look. And my concern for Iona would be is when they get all these guys back and much needed skill sets. You know, John Lewis is the best defender on the team, so they need him. And Zelensky is certainly a very capable point forward center, whatever he wants to play. So when he gets these guys back, what kind of impact does that have on the Gaels' ability to have cohesive play? Because right now they're doing a good job sharing the ball. Many of the guys are getting an opportunity to exploit the other team with their skills, but that's just 2 more people that's going to take someone's time. And certainly, I think Coach wants to try to continue to play some of the guys coming off the bench, like Jefferson and Sunday and Weiss as well, you know, to avoid any unnecessary, impact to any further injuries for the rest of the season. They're going to have to keep them in the mix somehow. So it's an interesting dilemma. But when you have someone leading the orchestra like Coach Pitino, you have faith that he's going to know exactly what to do.
I'll say now the Gaels are 3-0 off to a great start in the MAC play after December wins against Niagara Canisius and Sunday's win against St. Peter's. They're going to play 2 road games this weekend, Friday night at Marist, and then Sunday up at Quinnipiac. And Marist 4-8, 0-3 surprisingly in the MAC so far. John Dunn's game. What do you expect from the Marist game on Friday night?
Well, Marist, if they come in and play better than they've played, can create some issues for Iona because they have 4 guys in their lineup, including their one of their bigs, the 6'10" kid, that can really shoot the three. And that's been an issue for Iona early in the year. I think they've done a much better job, covering up that issue. But certainly when you have four guys on the floor that can shoot a three, if you're playing the big lineup that Iona expects to play, then that means somebody's going to have to come out above 6'9" and defend the perimeter. So if Marist can, take advantage of being home and shooting the ball well, it'll give Iona a little bit of struggles until coach decides he wants to, put that full court press on and make them have to play a different type of game. Um, Quinnipiac has been surprisingly disappointing, but they've had some injuries as well. Their point guard, a young man from Long Island, that I know is very, very good, and I hadn't seen him in the lineup much lately. But with him back in the lineup, he's very capable. He can score, which will create an issue for the Iona guards to have to defend and have to stay out of foul trouble. So, you never know. That's why they play the game. You got to show up and figure out, who's going to have their night. And if Quinnipiac and Marist can play better, then the Gaels are going to have to rise to the occasion and play as good as they can play.
Well, both games are about an hour away from New Rochelle, so a reasonable drive for Iona fans to attend up at Marist and Poughkeepsie, and then Quinnipiac just north of New Haven. And what do you think of John Dunn's at Marist? He obviously did a lot at St. Peter's, took them, notably beat Iona in a MAC championship game about 10 years ago to take St. Peter's to the NCAA tournament. But as moved north, he's still trying to build that program.
Well, sometimes it takes longer than you want or is expected. It's all about recruiting. And certainly when he took the job, recruiting landscape has changed with the portal. So he's trying to figure it out. He has good players, he has a good staff, and he's a good coach. He'll have his opportunities to, be the hunted team in the MAC. So he's a good coach. There's no question about it, and a good guy, which you always root for the good guy to do well. So I think Coach Dunn will get it together. It's just a matter of bringing in some good players and players that play the way you want to play, and I suspect that he'll be able to do that.
Yeah, it's always good to us, and I've enjoyed our chats over the years. And I thought last night I was listening to a little bit of a game that a big name team was trailing badly. I think it was going to be about 50-19 at the half, and they were described as a team that was playing their second road game of the season, and they hadn't gotten out much. And that's something, the amount of road games that Iona's played, particularly the game against Santa Clara in Las Vegas, and then going to New Mexico for a big time college atmosphere, 15,000 people at the game, and then going out to Hawaii. Iona's got a lot of experience now in playing on the road, playing at different sites, and that's going to serve them well as the season goes along.
Yeah, it was very strategic what Coach Pitino and his staff did. And most importantly, he didn't just do it for that reason. He did it because he felt the Gaels could go out and compete and win those games, which they did for the majority of them. But you're right. It gives you the level of experience that, listen, you've seen it, you've heard the crowds, you've gotten the boos, and nothing is going to affect the way you play except how you play. So I agree with you. I think that that's something that should bode well for the Gaels throughout the rest of the year.
Okay. And Kevin, any final thoughts for us about the world of college basketball?
Well, let me give you a couple final thoughts about Iona. First and foremost, kudos to the Iona fans for coming out during the period where the students weren't there. Great crowd, very supportive of Iona, and I'm certain that made Coach Pitino and the staff happy. And then secondly, just want to give a shout out to the Iona assistant coaches, every single one of them, because as brilliant as Coach Pitino is, much of what happens doesn't happen without the support of his staff. The scouting reports, the player development, the interactions with the players are very consistent, and they deserve a round of applause for what they've done thus far. When you're assistant coach for a Hall of Fame coach, then you better know what you're doing, and I can assure you that all of them on that bench know what they're doing.
Yeah, certainly you can tell. He's not. Coach Pitino doesn't look like looks like a pretty tough boss for his staff in terms of the amount of preparation that he delegates to each of his assistants to work on. And he was talking about how much work he gave to his son Richard when he was an assistant to his dad. That he did more work on the staff than anybody. Kevin Hamilton, great to talk with you and hear your insight about Iona University basketball. We'll look forward to doing this again very soon.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, Kevin. And always want to give a shout out to our friends at the Special Operations Boyer Foundation, taking care of families of fallen special operations members with scholarships and mentoring great group. And we'll be featuring them throughout the year. And so Friday night, Iona plays at Marist, 7 p.m., just an hour drive up to Poughkeepsie. And then on Sunday, 2 p.m. at Quinnipiac, again, it's probably less than an hour from New Rochelle up to Hamden, Connecticut, just north of New Haven. Easy drive up the Merritt Parkway. So anyway, have a great day. Thank you for watching. This is Ken Kraetzer for Cammvets Media.